a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And I know that I put out there that we were having a surprise guest, and we did that for a particular reason, so that we wouldn't get hopefully interfered with as readily, so that we can't even get off the ground. But we managed to get off the ground, and let me bring our surprise guest, who you all know already, on. Oh, welcome.
Yeah, right. Did you want me to explain anything, or do you want to keep on
No,
going?
go ahead.
Okay.
Tell us
We've
what
been
you got.
we've been having technical difficulties, and it is somebody controlling the um, feed from Restream in such a way that nobody can do anything about it. In short, what they do is they don't want me on because I tell too much about what's really happening. And so consequently, they figured out about 4 or 5 ways to block me. And that's what they've been doing. That's why I haven't been on one of Gail's shows in a while. I informed some friends of mine that are white hats and a few other people that they were doing that, and that maybe they might want to go pay them a visit, and we'll see how that goes. But the main thing I've been paying attention to is what people want, and apparently everybody's heard a lot about ETs, and they're looking at maybe something slightly different. And what I can do is I can give you all, including Gail, a taste of some of the things that I deal with. One of those is Judicial Watch. You ain't heard of it? Look it up. You for $35, you get a neat little pamphlet. Let's see here. What? Come, would you? Good grief! And it's called The Verdict. And they tell you what exactly is going on in terms of things that other people ain't saying nothing about. Some of those things that people ain't saying nothing about, I got about 6 or so of them that are sub headlines, where they got a little section and they cover a certain subject, well, and then they got another little deal and go to that one. And that's basically what I got this time. I'll start it out real simple. Judicial Watch is somebody that does not play games, and everybody knows about them, and they know that I'm involved because I've posted a lot of things online from Judicial Watch, and I'll run through these if that's all right with you, Gail.
The 6 different topics that you wanted to talk about. Is that what you mean?
Well, there's
Yeah.
6. Let's see, there's 4. Yeah, there's 6 total.
Okay.
But that's just part of what's going on. I'll explain the rest. I'll give you some. Well, they told me it was top secret, and I better not say anything. I already said something once. I'm gonna do it again. Just be nice and give them something to do. Oh boy. And anyway, this section is called In the Media, and it covers, like I said, a little, block statement and a little blurb under it, another subject, and they go on and on. Well, there's 6 of them in this one, and I'll read these one at a time. Got questions? Stop me. Los Angeles County removes 1.2 million ineligible voters from the rolls. Ooh, think about it.
1.2 million?
Yeah,
Did I hear you right? Oh my
that's just
God.
Los Angeles County.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll get to something else in dealing with voters voting. And then you got a another one here. Uh, Representative Comer wants inquiry into bizarre Secret Service Biden dynamic, where they're playing games with people and stuff that they shouldn't be screwing with, especially for Hunter Biden. He's a big boy. He can do all the coke in the world. He should be able to handle it. Yeah. The next one, new emails raise questions. Is Secret Service protected Biden family in Hunter gun probe? Remember, they got two things going on: the corruption in terms of where the money's coming from, and that gun deal right there. Well, then you got another one. Judicial Watch sues DOD for records on Biden's use of Marines as props at controversial campaign speech. And he's got a red background and two Marines standing there, and those two Marines should not have been standing there, according to the Marine Corps League and a few others that I'm familiar with.
Oh, they're actors?
Huh?
They're actors?
No, they're real
Oh.
Marines.
Oh,
But
okay.
Biden, as commander in chief, can order them to be at a certain place at a certain time, and that's what you do. Anyway,
Biden's not the commander in chief, though.
say what?
I said Biden's not commander in chief.
Yeah, well, as they're concerned,
I mean, as far as
a lot
our
of
public is concerned, I guess so.
well, there's a
So,
lot of people that have to
unfortunately,
honor that
not true.
situation, whether it's real or not. FBI whistleblower raises fresh concerns about bank record mining. Undercover agents since J6 probe. January 6th is turning out to be really funky. There's over 100 agents. You heard that right. Over 100 agents at that particular, and they were instigator, agitator, nasty mojammers. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then you got Judicial Watch sues HHS for records on pressuring big tech to censor COVID misinformation. Oops. Well, that goes back to a major article in this little booklet they send out, and it's under the title of government, and the section is uncovered. Well, records show U.S. and U.K. confidentiality agreement tied to vaccine adverse effect events. That deals directly with the safety of the vaccines that they've been making us take. It again took a lawsuit for the Biden administration to hand over, albeit heavily redacted, information regarding the safety of the COVID vaccines that the public has every right to know. Ooh, see what they're after? This is a disturbing batch of new documents have uncovered a secret confidentiality agreement tied to COVID vaccine safety issues and emails that raise new questions about the vaccines and pregnancy. And that's light coverings, okay? Now I can get worse, and I will, because I'll start this off with a nice thud, and I'll have you know that the intel agencies hate it when I do this, but it's a permanent situation with me.
Well, one of
I
the
have
things that information that came out yesterday when I was talking to Carrie Cassidy is that through her information, all 17, it's interesting that number, intelligence agencies have been infiltrated.
Yeah, yeah, badly.
Yeah.
The thing about about them getting upset and having to get the Alka-Seltzer out for their stomachs and everything is because I have the ability, when I decide to use it, of releasing classified information, whether they like it or not. And I do so. I don't do this, like some kind of joke. I do this for real. And some of the things that have been going on have been posted on Skype indirectly for ET. Now, some of it also deals with security, like Homeland Security, our little area that we live in. Now, this one you'll like a lot. Now, you've been hearing about executions, this and that, and the other thing at Gitmo. I got something to add to all that that's going to really curdle some milk. And this was done in secret, but they said they asked me right at first not to say anything, and I didn't. Now they say go ahead and shoot it to them. Ah! Okay. Anyway, the gist of it is this: a Title III court has not been in session in a long time until the other day. They did this in secret. Now, when I say secret, I mean it's secret. I found out about it because a friend of mine is a white hat, among other things, a couple of friends. And what's neat about it is this: they went in secret, reinitiated or started it back up again in terms of the Title III court. And the Title III court had a bunch of things to deal with. And they made a whole list of rulings about this, that, and the other thing.
What is a Title III court? I've never heard of that before.
Well, that's the one that can tell the Supreme Court what they can do with themselves.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, or the president or anybody else. Yeah, it's an extraordinary situation. But here's what took place. They did this, and they had this hearing in secret, and they had a stack of paperwork showing the different issues they wanted the Title III court to rule on. Well, they ruled on those, and it added about 20 or 30 other ones. So the ruling itself is extraordinarily beefy. You got that little old lady, where's the beef? You remember her?
Yeah, I haven't heard that one for a long time.
In this case, however big you make the bun, the meat shows on the outside. And this is done purposely. The reason they're allowing me to out the information is because they needed somebody that was a scapegoat. So if I get a knock on the door, I get my guns and go see who it is, Basically, some of the rulings were that the tribunals that they've been holding in Gitmo are not only valid, but with their permission. Now, you don't get any higher than that. Then they got...
With whose permission?
Uh,
With whose permission? You said, at least that's what I thought you said. Maybe I heard you wrong.
yeah, they had... The court ruled that they gave them permission to go ahead and hold the tribunals.
Oh, I see. The
If it
Title
results-
III
If it
court.
results in an execution or something, so be it.
Okay. Okay, I get
Now-
it. I get it. Now I get it.
A lot of people have tried to talk to me about things that I mentioned when I did the interview with David Wilcock that they don't know squat about. Well, I decided I'll just decide to hereby clarify some of that. The mass arrests are coming, so whether anybody likes it or not, it's
They're
coming.
already going on from my information.
Huh?
I said many are already being arrested from my
Oh, yeah.
information.
Oh yeah.
But there's going to be a blitz, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Oh, okay.
You know what happens when punt returner gets a football and they can't catch him. That's the kind of Chinese fire drill you can expect out of the government. These people are all going to try to run for the hills, and the problem is, they go come down the road and there stands the military, and the road is closed. In other words, they can't even get out of town. Okay, the great majority of these people will not be removed from the country right away. Those that are will be well, like the church, excommunicated. There's a little rocky island out in the Pacific all by itself and about 400 miles from anything at all. Guess where they're going to drop them off at? Oh, they'll give them a few supplies, some tools. Go ahead, build something out of those palm trees. See how good you are. Anyway, the balance of the people that are nasty, depending on the severity of what they've done, will depend on what their future may be in terms of keeping their life, etc. We, the people, are to judge them. We have full, absolute discretion as to what we want to do with them, within reason. You can't slow burn them to death or anything funky or stinky like that. I'm telling you, human flesh when it burns really is boo. Anyway, we can execute them. We can put them into prisons similar to what the Nazis experienced from the Nuremberg trials, solitary confinement within 20-foot walls, that sort of thing. We can do all of that.
Well, hopefully we're not going to have any Operation Paperclips going on either.
Any what?
Like the old Operation Paperclip?
No.
Some of these people that are responsible getting away and going someplace else.
Well, these people have a serious problem, and that serious problem comes from the fact that this has been approved, and you can't go against that court. If you do, you'll be brought up on charges that you won't believe, and you're talking about ended up with multiple life sentences or something nice. But anyway, the
Heard of that before.
the other part of it is that along with this, I mentioned in the beginning of this, LA County removes 1.2 million ineligible voters. Guess what? In several states now, they are outlawing mail-in ballots. The reason they are is that 80% on average aren't valid to begin with. You don't have a postage stamp, but it isn't mailed in. If you don't have a signature, it don't belong to anybody. Just little tiny bitty problems of that nature. And so consequently, there's several states so far have outlawed. We've got several more that are looking at that. If an individual feels that their rights, I don't care what right it might be, if their rights have been infringed on by an agency of the government, by other people, or whatever, all you need to do is make sure that you get it reported to the right people. Now, when this all starts, when fun hits the fan and the games get to going, and you hear a bunch of politicians running and screaming naked down the street, oh, guys, he's gonna get me, he's gonna, that sort of thing. That's when you will hear an announcement, which will be on all channels, about what I'm saying, what has taken place, what's going to take place, and this would be near future stuff, and where it supposedly all will lead. Now, the DETs, I hate to bring them up all the time, but there's no no basis for any reverse lawsuits, countersuits, or any of that. There's no basis for these people to try to defend something that can't be defended. And this is the neat part, they can't do anything about the sentences that we the people decide would be befitting whatever it is they've done. So if they molested little kids, oh, maybe we should put them in the school of Big Bubba and let him take care of it. Huh?
And then there's the ones that did far more than just molest, torture, rape, and kill. So I have no mercy on them. I'm sorry.
That's what we get to decide. Whether or not we want to be merciful, or we want to inflict the punishment that they deserve. That's basically where we're going to be. The main problem that people are going to have is the legality of everything that's going on. Now, the first thing to be cleansed will be the government. Second thing will be the military. Third thing is going to be society itself. By that I mean the people that have been doing nasty things and getting away with it. That's over.
Well, it seems like it goes from all the way from the federal to the state to the city. I mean,
it does. It does. You're right. You're right in your thinking that, because that's the trail of contact, or whatever you want to call it, that, or chain of evidence, however you want to look, whatever way you want to look at it. And the problem is that we have all of this validated. We have it all documented, and these people are not going to have any place to hide. Rock cried out, "There's no hiding place." It's just that simple. And this is a prelude to the great society that we have all been looking forward to, where you can be yourself reasonably and not get molested in the process by the government or some official or somebody. Huh?
Or be robbed from, the banks, stealing from people's accounts and so on and so forth.
There's a whole lot of little packages of pimples that are going to jail. There's a whole bunch of bankers going to jail. People that have initiated like foreclosures when it it shouldn't have happened. It never should have been a case. And they took somebody's house away from them. They go to jail.
They did that to a lot of people.
That's what I mean. When I said cleansing, it's like that purge that you see in the movie.
Who's going to be doing the enforcement of this?
I'm gonna be one of them. I got guns. You have to understand that I can take you down the street and introduce you to some of the most honest people you'll ever meet in your life. And I mean, they're so honest that it hurts to be around them all the time. Little ladies. There's quite a few young men that actually do have the moral compass that God says you're supposed to have. Well, there you go. I mean, if you've got these people, then you take the bad ones out and replace them with these people that have got morality and honest to God sense of justice. I mean, what would be just for a person doing certain things? Well, in my estimation, certain ones deserve very badly to be skinned alive.
Oh, Drake, please, not on the show.
Whoa.
That is disgusting.
No, it ain't.
No,
it ain't.
yes, it is.
No, you don't understand.
No, that's too.
You don't understand. That's the reality of it. It's just like all this fun and games, funky stuff they're playing with
That's too nasty.
that you see on the news.
Mhm.
None of the talk, bluster, jump up and down and holler stuff works. They've been trying that for years. Hadn't done any good. But when you blow somebody's brains out, that gets the message across.
We can't be talking or promoting violence on the channel, okay?
I'm not promoting squat. I'm just telling people how it is. And you go out on the street and ask people, and they ain't doing anything, and that's what you'll hear. And you ask them what should be done, and they got some nastier things than I have said in mind for
That's
these
because
people.
it's because these violations of humanity have been going on for so long with nothing ever being done that people just don't think anything ever will be done, which is really sad.
Exactly. Um, Acquiescence to something that's not real, like the situations we got at the border, that ain't real. Biden did it, and he knows it. It's like
It's
the
intentional.
yeah, and it's like the debt ceiling. No, I ain't going to negotiate. Well, I read that thing that the Republicans put out, and it's not only comprehensive, but it's pretty fair. Biden won't talk about it. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we need to take Biden and his brain donkey assistant and see if they'll float, toss them in the ocean. Fish won't eat them, we know that. Fish aren't stupid. And everybody understands that there is a great disconnect between the people that are supposed to be representing us and the people. Big disconnect. And I mean, I hate to see it, and I hate to say it, but that has to be fixed. Uh-oh, calculated invasion. Cut
Just
the
wanted to
BS.
say, I show you this article because I agree with him. It's David Icke just said, "Cut the bullshit." It's a calculated invasion. So I just wanted to share that. So, um,
Hey, that works. Most of the time I don't like David Icke. He doesn't do things to the
yeah,
extent that I think they should be done. However, I
I do
also
like
know
him.
Dot Connector won't let him get away with that. So there you go.
I rather like him most of the time. But anyway, on this border thing, according to some information which I did get from David Icke, and it's a UN. It's in regard to a UN report that they wanted to this invasion thing at the border.
Uh-huh.
They want 593 million immigrants into the United States by no later than 2050. So that's about 10.8 million per year of basically illegal immigrants. And they want to change the very nature of Western society. And they figure by letting all these, I mean, I don't know where these people are coming from, but I get the,
Everywhere. They're coming
yeah.
from China,
Why are they
South
coming
America,
here?
Russia.
Why? They don't, are
Well,
they,
because of our welfare programs. That's why.
well, they think
They
that,
immediately get taken care of. You hungry? Let's go get something to eat. Simple. Why don't people work? Because they get an unemployment check. What? For what? For being too lazy
well,
to
you
get up
have
on
to
top
work
of the
first
butt?
before you can get unemployment. You have to
Yeah,
have
I
a
know, I
job.
know, and they did. And then when they started, they also initiated the COVID routine and help everybody out. And the idea was, well, we're going to fix it so that they can get unemployment the rest of their life. Don't have to do squat, you know. So
Well,
when
actually, I think they were pushing a social, the basic income type thing, and make it seem like it's going to be really good at first, but they don't know that that's how it'll start that way, but it's a trick. It's like a
yeah,
bait and switch.
yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
it's the totalitarian tiptoe, as I used to call it.
yeah.
Um, Bad news, yeah. Same with this digital ID stuff we talked about. Carrie was
Oh,
bringing out, and I heard that about that. They can actually make a digital version of URI with, um, and actually break in and have you be saying something,
hmm,
and it looks just
I
like you,
never said
sounds
that.
just like you, and you can be sitting there seeing it happen and going, "No, that's not me. I'm not." They actually have the
Yeah,
capability of doing that kind of thing.
yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, it gets more fun than that. Um, but the main thing that we've got to look at is that we have a choice, and that choice is simple. Do you want to live or do you want to die? Well, I'll go along with the old saying, "Give me liberty or give me death." I fully agree with that. You you like throwing those earbuds on the
I
ground,
know.
don't
I don't know why I can't keep them in my ear. They just won't. They just pop right out.
you? Put a paper wad in there with it.
No, I think it's because it doesn't fit all the way in.
uh,
That's why. So anyway,
maybe maybe
what
it's
did you just?
because the word old is taking effect and you're shrinking.
I'm not going to listen to that. Okay. I'm not going to give energy to that negative,
Huh? What negative?
programmed thought. Okay.
The only person who ever had a problem with shrinking was the Wicked Witch. I'm melting. It just. I'd like to see some politicians go through that.
Yeah.
I
Wouldn't
would.
that be
I think
nice?
that if you want to you want to play games and play them right, let's make new rules. Let's instead of busing all of these people downtown New York, why don't we send them over to somebody's house, like Biden's basement, fill it up with migrants?
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things they're doing is from what I've read is they're putting it up in $300 a night hotels and giving them
Yeah,
food and they don't even do that for people
the slums
here,
would be
Americans that are
fine.
born here. That
Take them to the slums.
that is so wrong. That is just so wrong. And we're
Well,
paying for it. We're paying for it.
yeah,
And I want to say something. Everybody that went ahead and paid their taxes made this cabal situation last through July because you gave them more money to operate with. This is the kind of thing that needs to stop. That people need to pull back and just like you boycott a company that is putting out a poisonous product or something
yeah,
on that order. This is
yeah,
what's going on right now.
yeah.
Um, I kept telling a
Well,
couple of my friends, get an extension, but everybody's so afraid. It's like it's time to get off the fence. It's our hill to die on, just like you said. I mean, I hate to say that, but you know what? Do you want to be free or do you want to live
fear is a
practically
strong
chained to
motivator.
your house?
If I show up with a sharp machete and I want to chop chunks off of you, you're not going to be exactly friendly towards me. Pretty simple. Okay. The IRS will take your house and your money and your car and
And it's a
everything.
foreign company.
Huh?
And it's a a private company, a foreign
Yeah, I
private company.
know.
It's not a
I
government
know.
agency. Like they've masqueraded to people all these years and got away with it.
They got permission. Remember, I told you we needed a
From this
Title III
Title
court,
Three.
and I said so probably 5 years ago. Well, now we've had one. Guess what one of the subjects was? What you just mentioned. All of this stuff is this funky, nasty things that would give you an upset stomach in the middle of the night, just because are the things that are going to be done away with. Now, this includes the people involved in it. They're not going to pull any slack for these nasties that go around messing kids up for life. They're not going to get no slack. Same
Good.
thing's true of people that have screwed up somebody when they had a nice little nest egg, and all they want to do is live in peace and quiet. And along comes Mister Funky Monkey and screws it up. Well, maybe he should be Funky Monkey. Maybe they need to take him down to the forest down in South America and drop him off. I mean, there's always answers. The alligators in the swamps down in Florida, Definitely would keep somebody up at night. I mean, you can't climb trees or unless you can fly, you're liable to be in trouble.
So
Uh,
when are they ever going to do anything about the crime family that we all know has engaged in all kinds of illegal activities?
which crime family? The Biden crime family?
Yeah, and of course we know that that's a fake
That's only one. That's
administration, but yeah,
that's only one of several. Um,
I heard he had 4 clones or 4 actors playing his part.
well, they had Tucker Carlson had a thing on there which showed a bunch of the uh, a big list uh, and kind of like a mugshot. They were all lined up and stuff
Mhm.
of the people that objected to him playing the January 6th tapes. Now he played the one about Mr. Viking Man, and there wasn't any violence there. There was no attempted takeover. They had to turn him loose because the charges were invalid. Same thing's true of all of the others that he had video of. Now, what Tucker did with that, I have no idea. But he needs to get with Elon Musk, which have heard he did, and they're gonna start
Yeah, I
a
saw a
news
little clip
channel.
of.
Yeah, they're gonna start a news channel of their own. Can you imagine having the Twitter files and Tucker Carlson in the same room?
Yeah,
You
well,
realize what kind of a mess that'd make for the politicians. Anyway,
wow.
um, so the white hats, the good guys, um, decided to rearrange our government, and they so far have done so. Um, we no longer have a true treasury, among other things. Janet Yellen isn't in charge of Jack. Um,
She's a crook anyway.
well, you uh, let's put it this way. We had an illustrious president who was very opinionated and very strict about a lot of things. And what Trump did was he found out about some of the things she'd done by way of emails that she'd put out, and she was immediately fired. He didn't wait to do 10 days or 2 weeks or you can't fire me. You want to bet? So well, this is the kind of straight up in your face that it's going to have to take to get
Yep,
things to where they need to be, and
yep,
a lot of people are going to be called on to see whether or not they're willing to make sure that this country comes out the right end of the tubes. Right now, we're going down the crapper.
yeah, we are. It's scary, and I'm going. Well, why? I don't know.
The ideal is
I
to destroy it. The ideal is to destroy it. Schumer
yeah,
hasn't Schumer and none of them people have got the guts to admit it. But that's the basic bald truth of
that's
it.
been the agenda for quite some times. I mean, it was supposed to start. Hillary was going to finish us off. People like you and I would have went to execution camps, probably, or they'd call them re-education camps. But
I got a hold of some of the crap that she put
take
out and published it early. That's one of the reasons she was unsuccessful. Oh.
yeah, that usually helps a lot when something comes out. It
Well,
spoils their
I got a
plans.
friend, and if things work out the way I hope they do, I'm gonna tie Hillary a
She's already
wall,
dead.
and I'm gonna tell this little old lady that she can do whatever she wants to her, including killing her.
Well, I have. She's already been executed, according to my sources.
What do you?
And I
How do
even
you
saw a
stop all the?
picture. And
Well,
I
how do
even
you
see a
stop all the
picture.
clones?
Good
Uh-huh.
question. Good question.
Well, that is coming up in the near future. There's things being set in place that I'm aware of, and that I will be a part of the operation of. That was done once before. Once before, a few years back. Um, I don't know. There's probably 2 dozen of us. We were around destroying clone factories and the clones that were in there. ET didn't like the idea of us killing those things. They're live. No, they're not. That's a ghost in a shell. And anyway, we took out all but two of the factories. And when I say factories, I'm talking about 2 miles square. These were not little. And anyway, we wiped a bunch of it out. Well, they reinitiated it from the underground. Well, I don't know if anybody's listened lately, but the underground, the deep underground bases, have been being cleaned out, and that takes all the support away from the clone facilities, which means that this time, and that's coming up soon, our little mission of blowing them up, blowing them away, setting them on fire, whatever, will be more successful. So you can look forward to that.
Well, well, I think a lot of people. This is something interesting. I just got a little paragraph I'll read for people here. Let's see. Oh, this came from Ben Fulford. Okay.
Oh, it did. I know.
Yeah. So I got to give him credit for this. The Rockefeller-owned United States of America Corporation has stolen people's tax refunds and then thus given itself enough money to last until July. But the rats are bailing out of the sinking ship. The announcement by Susan Rice that she was leaving the fake regime means the communist faction around Barack Obama has split with the Rockefellers. Overall, over 47% of Biden's A-team have now resigned. And one of the reasons they're bailing out is because of the investigation and revealed that at least 9 members of the family were involved in the family's money laundering schemes. At least 9 Biden family members sold access for profit around the world.
They're thinking there's 12 of them.
Oh, really? Yeah, they were still finding them. They hadn't, when it printed this, they hadn't all been found yet. Isn't this just amazing? And this person is sitting in this seat.
They haven't killed them yet because they can't. There was a little Swift Striker operation not too long ago that targeted all of their hit people. They no longer have the death squads and hit people that they used to have. They're down to a nubbin, and those guys are hiding in the basement.
Oh, the bad guys, assassins.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
most of them belong to Hitlery. So.
Back on the border invasion, one of the things too that I have here is that they're believing that there are huge numbers of Chinese nationals, and they also talk about them being, I don't know why they would say this, but diseased Chinese nationals. Diseased. Why would they be diseased? I don't know, but that's what it says. So, and our population being under the stress that it's been under, as well as the polluted food supply and drugs and other issues, we would be very vulnerable to those diseases. That's what the point that they were making there. Yeah, supposedly. I don't know. Humanity is pretty darn strong. And then I just got more stuff on the banks and how many have closed. I think at least 250 have closed just in the United States.
Well, I had a show not too long ago called Brain Damage. And what will you put up with was the first question out of the box. This is very short. Take a look-see at all the horse hockey from the administration, regulators, executive orders, and rules that penalize the people.
I know, and it just keeps going on. They just keep doing more and more of it.
Let me finish. If all this is not what you want, you ain't alone. Then the final question is, we can change all this if you want to. Question is, do you? Well, if so, you'll need to let me know. Now you can get in touch with Gail. You can get, you can put email addresses and messages and whatnot into the blog talk show. It's got an email address there and all that. What I need, this is what it'll take, is several people who can coordinate and manage and actually take charge and run things. You'll be told what to do, where, when, and basically how. Now, a lot of that is open, and yet it's here. Now, the problem we have had is that Biden isn't aware enough to wipe his own Watusi, not without his wife's assistance and direction. And I doubt that the staff that he's got that actually is running things has very much better ideas than the Marxist stuff they've been pulling out of the closet lately. However, you're going to have a serious problem if you don't get on board. I can't protect somebody I don't know or have someone else do it or refer you to the correct places to get with the right people so that you can survive without a problem. Now,
What is the nature of what you're asking? Oh, I suppose you can't say that online.
they won't find that out until they meet with me face to face, and that'll only be after I read them. I read people. By that, I can read somebody's mind, their intent, purpose, and what they're up to,
Pretty
without
well.
ever having said a word to them. Now, it works even better when we shake hands, because then we get a straight up physical connection. Woo! And the neat part about that is that we can get up in the air, holler, dance, jump up and down, scream, whatever we want to do. Because at that point, I will take you from where I meet you to a place that I know is secure, where you can cut loose and just be yourself and don't worry about it. Think about that. There's 3 or 4 of them right around here where I live in West Virginia. I specifically refer to the mountains simply because mountains are a great place to get away from everything. When you no longer have electricity, or it's not common wherever you're going, then you have some form of solitude. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever had the lights go out. If you have, you'll notice that it feels like a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you find a peace, quiet, things that just you're not familiar with at all. Get used to it. And the reason I say that is that the advice I asked them to put this out, and they put a fairly good draft on Skype as to what this is about.
My
And they
noise pollution is really,
what
is it related to noise pollution or frequencies as a result of
the
electricity being off?
electricity going through a wire makes noise. Without
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
electricity,
does.
it's quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, now ET advised a friend indirectly to me and said the same thing that I said a year ago. You need food, you need water, you need a place, and preferably away from some kind of place that's populated heavy. And you need a gun. Why? Well, you want somebody to put you on the menu, shoot you, and take all your stuff? Or would you rather be able to fight back?
Well, I'm first.
That's the question. Go ahead.
I'm first seeing that when you think about the people, all the people that they're allowing to cross the border. We're not dealing with Americans anymore. We're dealing with, could very easily be dealing with thugs. And
Well, that's cool. They're not bulletproof.
Yeah, well, not all of us have guns. So,
Well, here's the problem: to make things real for these people that just don't believe it. There's going to have to be some bloodshed, skin in the game, however you want to look at this, in order to get the message across that this is for real.
yeah, that's what
Once
kind
that
of what
message,
that's
yeah,
what it's taken with the shot program too.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
got to have enough
So,
drop over, and now the kids are starting to go. I don't know if you've heard that. Seriously.
so the thing I'm seeing is that the probability of what's going on and it being or becoming nasty is very real. Now, I would suggest that you pick a place that's not too far away from wherever you are. Okay, and by that I mean you want to have enough gas to be able to get there and back. You want to be able to drive to and from. Now, my energy device will be ready in about a week, so I'll be making plans and things like that available to you, depending on where you're at, where you shop, what you do with yourself. It will depend. That will depend on what prices are involved. This stuff this stuff ain't free, but it ain't expensive either. And having electricity, well, if you had to spend uh, oh, a week, maybe 2 weeks salary, not to ever pay another electric bill, would you do it? I think most people would. And it doesn't take any energy to input either. No fuel. It does its own thing on its own terms for your benefit. Part of it is Tesla. Part of it is ancient knowledge. There's a whole bunch of things mixed into it. But the end result is the same thing as the talking statues along the Nile River that the Egyptians built. That's an oddity, but it's real. And they can actually have a comprehensive conversation with an individual who knows how to ask. Think about that. Ooh, a stone dead statue talking to me. Oh boy, that'd be some good stuff in that Nile
I never
water.
heard that one before. Okay. That's new to me. Oh my goodness. You choking? Hmm.
Unmute I'm muted and then
Yeah, you muted
unmuted.
yourself.
I'm
There you go.
catching on to that.
Hey, I want to ask you if you heard about this. Okay.
Wood.
Um, this is what it says. All 50 states have been removed from the Smithsonian American History Museum in Washington, D.C. Old Glory and the museum's flag remain hung. According to Nancy Drew, before the state flags were taken down, they were put at half mast for a while, as Old Glory and the museum's flag hung above them. Was this a hint about the future?
Yes. You asked, there it is. Yes. Um, you want to get in it. You want to get into futurality. Um, we've got about 3 or 4 months of pioneer living, survival level, and all that. Before we're done with all the resets and everything, and stuff starts getting back to normal. Like they have semi tractor trailers that can fuel up and take a load over to what's his face and dump out the groceries. Okay, that sort of thing will cease and desist. The idea that we were going to have a very very short period of this, it would be nice if it is, but be prepared in case it isn't. Now, what you want to get when you get food and things like that is stuff that you do like to eat. Simple. That way you can rotate it with no problem. Huh. What?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, sometimes it's hard to get as much as you might like to for those purposes. So anyway, I have a couple of things that I could bring up if you might like.
Like
There's
what?
somebody wrote this about uh, Mr. Trump, and I'd like to read that.
Oh, oh.
Oh, it's good, actually. This
Well,
one's good.
go ahead.
And
I'm just
and then I
saying.
also have something from John F. Kennedy, who some people think is no longer with us, but
Uh-huh. We
he
got
is. Anyway, okay, the first one is from Relentless Truth, LeBronson. It says, when real Donald Trump is done, he will be responsible for saving and creating millions of children's lives. And I'm going to back that up with saying no one has done anything about child trafficking in the past. Nobody.
it's gonna be a combination of people that have been involved, who can tell or direct people as to what needs done, where they need to go, and all that.
The next,
We
he's
the
got several
people,
points here. Yeah.
we the people will be responsible for the lives of others as well as our own. And if we conduct ourselves accordingly, or correctly, or however you want to look at that, then we will be in good shape.
Treat your neighbor like your brother. Um, your good brother, I hope. Trump's Supreme Court reversed the Roe versus Wade. That's, I don't know.
I think that'll leave it just like it is. It was a mistake.
That's
They made the mistake at first by making it a federal policy or whatever you want to call it,
mhm.
and they rectified. They fixed it.
It can
Every
still be
state,
done at the state level if it's if
yeah,
it's
you you go down to the state and get your whatever you want to get.
if you have to
They give
within
you a
reason.
Band-Aid, you know you're in the wrong place if you're
Of
after
course,
an abortion.
there's a few states around here which is absolutely unbelievable that will actually murder an infant after it's born. I mean, they've
Well,
actually it's
okay,
insane.
uh, I have kept from getting into this discussion for a long time, uh, until that person, male or female, uh, has God taking giving them breath, and they take in the breath of life. They are nothing more than a callus or a finger or something of this nature. Quite literally. Whether anybody likes it or not, that's medical fact. The thing that I look at is this: if uh, if you don't want babies, don't spread your legs, girls.
Oh, please don't even go there. Please quit blaming it on the women.
Yeah,
Okay, it takes two to
right.
tango.
I would have said that they should take that somebody should take a sharp knife and modify their physiology to a point where they couldn't do that any longer. You want to get to the fun of it, I can describe it in detail. What I'm saying is this: don't spread your leg, girls. Boys, you don't have a responsibility. I want to bet. Don't stick it in there if you ain't got the whatever it takes
How about
to
keep your
get
pants zipped
pregnant.
up?
What?
Keeping your pants zipped up. Quit,
Yeah,
blaming it on the woman then if she gets pregnant.
gotta pull them up
Anyway,
too.
yeah, that's a touchy. By the
I
way,
saw a real
did
fun.
you see this? Did you see this when the coronation went on? The guy
No.
walks past the. Oh, you didn't see that? They
Uh,
they called it the Grim Reaper. It was when Charles's coronation took place. Everybody was talking about that. That was
well,
kind
there's
of
a lot of
crazy.
people that really don't like Charles very much.
Well, why? Who
Um,
would? He's not good.
well,
It's
there's
like Princess Diana, who's Queen Diana now,
uh,
said that they're not human.
yeah, uh, that's closer to the truth than you know. But the
Exactly.
thing about it is that we have had and have had for quite a few years intimate or very detailed knowledge as to what is going on. That's like right now. Uh, what is to take place? That's like in the next few days. and where we're going to end up at. And there was a certain time traveler that was popular about 5 years ago or thereabouts who told all this. The funny part about it is it's coming true. It's happening verbatim. Every exact thing he said, and the people that were doing it then are doing it now. Ooh. So we have a hard way to go in terms of keeping what we got mostly together.
Wow. I have this is something that was written by John F. Kennedy Jr. Um, so one of the things he says is the awakening is going mainstream. They can't stop it. What you are all about to go through is going to be very painful. You are about to learn that your entire lifetime and generations before you have been nothing but lies. It's going to take a good 6 months to get over this. Some may never get over it. The entire planet is going to be rewired. Every system and every technology that you now know will be obsolete. A lot of money is coming back.
Yeah,
So, um,
yeah.
right now, we're not getting any questions, unfortunately. I did put up one YouTube channel to be willing to make it a sacrificial lamb if we talked out of the code book. But I guess nobody picked up on it, but I couldn't announce it. Um,
Mhm. Well, every
just,
time we announce
you know.
something, somebody screws it up.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? We just proved
Well,
it
they
right
don't want
now.
you and me talking. They don't want the truth from me or you either one, or any of the people with questions.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, because
why everything gets cut up and cut off and screwed up.
yeah, and our people used to ask great questions too, and
Yeah.
I really miss being able to do that. That was a lot of fun, and
Well,
well,
I
that's
tell you,
why
I,
YouTube
I,
pulled the carpet right out from under me. And you,
I'll tell you what you can do. You might think about having people maybe uh, write you an email or whatever, asking the question. If that wouldn't work, you can put an auxiliary um, live chat box in, and it doesn't
yeah, I
have
have to
anything
look
to do.
into that. That'd be a lot easier. It gets kind of it's
Well, that's what I
difficult,
mean.
time consuming with the email questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did that more when it was only, I was only doing one show a week, and now I'm doing 3 or 4 shows a week, and it's really hard to be able to do that.
Well,
Um,
I
time
would
wise.
say I would say that because we have the problems that we do, manufactured, artificial, we should look at this show as being completed, and go ahead and close it down and stipulate. I'll let you do that at the end of it or before you turn it off. Hey, contact me this way. I'm gonna look into a chat. We got some friends out there that may know something about a chat. You know,
Paul might
so
know something.
oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
if I can just if it's possible to run it, if I have a computer that's strong enough to be able to run at the same time, um, that's important.
Hmm.
Um, well, as you would have 2 lives going at the same time, with whatever bandwidth and all that stuff that's required
Yeah.
as a result of it.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I'll look into that again. I was really hoping, but see, here's the thing: if people were willing, all they have to do is to go to Twitch, like Everado18 there.
Uh-huh.
Um, you can ask questions on that channel. You can also, because it's live streaming there um, on that channel. It's also live streaming it's on Twitch and D Live both. Like people could be watching us right here and right now, and if they wanted to ask questions, they could ask them right there on D Live or Twitch.
And
Problem
they
is,
show up.
people have not taken that up.
Can you get in the message thing over here?
Yeah, I can put a message there if that's
Okay,
what you
why don't you
mean.
put those two links in there?
Which links? Oh, yeah, okay. I have done that before. Let me see. Yeah, here's one right here. That's D Live for questions. That's the one I probably that one in. Let's see, where's Twitch? I think I
Can you
have
put that?
Twitch
Can you
too.
put that? Yeah, but we got. Wait a minute. We got a message thing over here. Message from audience will display here. Can you get it into that?
Into the chat.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know. I think I might be able to. I think if I
Well,
copy and paste it over here, because I otherwise they just wants to put it on the screen, you know. Okay, copy. So here's one. Let me put this one in the chat. Here's one for
I don't
the
see
D
anything
Live.
in the chat.
No, I'm going to find the one for Twitch, which we already have somebody in Twitch that is making comments. So let me find my Twitch one because I'm pretty sure I have them for all of them. Yep, here's Twitch. Oops. Copy.
You didn't get
And
anything into the chat. Nothing come up anyway.
there's one.
Oh, there we go.
And there's one. Twitch. See, here's Twitch. See, and
Yeah.
Everetto's from Twitch.
Okay. Go into there again and say ask your questions through these two links, and we'll be able to talk about it on the show.
I've been trying to get him to go there.
Well, maybe God knows. I don't know what to tell you.
There we go. Okay, it says ask your questions at either
Of
of
these
these
two
two
links, yeah,
links.
that's cool.
So, anybody that's watching the show or that watches it later, please pay attention to that because it was so much fun when we used to be able to do the questions, and we could still do it, but you have to know, you know, when we're patronizing YouTube, we're patronizing the enemy if you want to know the truth.
Go ahead and ask.
So why not go to the channels that are uncensored, where they're not telling you what you can say and what you can't say? Now, unfortunately, Restream doesn't take questions from Rumble or Odyssey. If they did, you wouldn't have to go to another site. But there's no reason why you can't watch the video at either one of these sites. It's as simple as that. Now,
Yeah.
when it's live, of course, obviously after it's not live anymore, you can't ask any questions. But for future use, why don't you see if you can get to one of those? You probably have to open an account. Maybe, I'm not sure. I do have those accounts, and just if you would do that, we can get back to having fun again. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we covered as much as we can cover today. We're
I would say so.
yeah, we're not getting any more questions, and I read a couple of things that I thought were important. And all right, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
And thank you for your time and energy, and thank goodness we got it to work. Yay!
You're welcome. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye, everyone. See you again. Remember, this is listener supported, so if you can help, please do. I appreciate it. I just don't have the wherewithal to come on and do a trying to sell or push the products, and I probably should, but I just can't make myself do that. So I just put everything in the description, and I hope you look at it and if you can help, please do. I'd greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. And I was happy to be able to bring Drake on this last time. So thank you.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show